Hello, and welcome to another session of Hearts of Wulin. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and we are playing with the Supernatural playbooks, and we are a ways into it. I'm going to assume you've checked out some of the previous episodes, so I'm not going to go too much further into it, except to remind you that this is part of the Open Hearth Gaming Calendar/community, and you can find out more about that at openhearthgaming.com. My plan right now is that we're going to have another free open gaming weekend in September, early September. That's my goal right now. I'm going to start saying that we're going to get it out there. We'll have at least some weeks between that and any big major con. That is my hope. So we have our characters who have arrived in town for various reasons. And in the gathering of the convocation from the four mountains, and monster hunters have been drawn here, and spirits have been drawn here. And as we saw before, there was the enormous cage in the center of the town that was covered that you were able to find out contained the human form of a dragon. And we take up in this moment where out in front of all of the cultivators and monster hunters, there is to be this drawing away of the curtain and this revelation. They have been told that there is a dragon. That dragon has been captured originally by our brother sister pair. Um, and uh, of gosh, let me get these names again. So it would take me one.
Calm Wing and Flickering
Yes,
Breath.
thank you. Calming and Flickering Breath. And they apparently have captured the dragon. They have given away some of the dragon scales to each of the cultivator schools. And apparently, this is by way of establishing a new school, one for the monster hunters. That seems to be the program that is going on. Now, that crowd is gathered outside. Ming is there. He knows that something is happening, but he has decided to play it a little carefully. He's he he's wondering if this is going to embarrass Flickering Breath or not. What is actually going to happen? So he knows everybody's got things under control. On the other hand, someone who doesn't know that everyone's got things under control is Song Tian, because Song had a disappointment recently and then invoked his music there in the square and carried out, and that song that he put out into the world was responded to. Uh, uh, the the voice of Song Tian carried to the dragon, and the dragon was with you. That love is an illusion, and that we can never love again, and everything is sad and depressing. Meanwhile, inside, Heartless Dandan earlier in collusion with Chalu, the inadvertent collusion with Chalu, managed to get the heart of the dragon that was being held by Flickering Breath, that Flickering Breath had taken from the dragon. And Heartless has entered in. Chalu has
I have
followed.
taken extensive risks in order to get to this point.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
yes.
absolutely. So here is the situation. You have the dragon there. You have
Yes.
the dragon is chained. The dragon is less a question of overcoming him to get him into the bottle, which you talk about, uh, but more breaking those chains to be able to do that,
Thought
getting
that we
through
had
that.
resolved a way to do that.
Well, that is that you know the process to do that, but that is still a duel between yourself and these chains effectively.
Okay. All right.
So you know that as you stand right now, these chains are above your scale. So my question to you is, Chao Lu is there. What do you say to Xiao Lu?
What can you do to aid me with these bonds? You
How do we sever them? Quickly, they're about to find us.
and she goes, yes, and I know that you are very good at evading bonds. And she sort of says, I can tell because of the way that you speak.
I'm good at evading bonds on myself.
All
These
right.
are
All right. Yes, then I think that gives me a way to do that. Is essentially to, what do you say?
Did I just volunteer to get them transferred onto me?
No, not precisely that, but to tie you to them with maybe a little bit of ink. That's all. So I think that it is that, yes. You go see what you can do.
So, Xiao Lu, when Heartless like flicks her ink and maybe attaches you a little bit to the chains, what is it you do to deal with these bonds?
I mean, on the one hand, this is not a thing Xiao Lu wants. On the other, like, uh, sure, let's have some fun with it. Why not? Um, well, ink is a very watery substance. My style element is water.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, if you want to roll overcome to try and do that and reduce the scale to give Heartless a chance at this.
Sure, if that's yeah, because instead of like comfort and support, I'm trying to reduce scale. So yeah, I will call to life a couple of these little these will-o-wisp, these blue balls of fire to each side, and maybe even like settle them onto the ink and try and like join them together to join my chi to Heartless's ink.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Let's have you roll overcome with water.
Fantastic. Um,
Can I, uh, let's see.
No, because he
I
is
don't have the right
it-
thing.
right. They are. Oh, wow.
okay, that's a 10.
So what does that look like? Like,
Nice.
what do we see happen when you clearly find the weakness, reduce the power of these chains, something? What do you think, Chalu?
Um, I think as described, these water candles, these blue little will-o-wisps, I think like as the ink sort of like begins to tendril its way up Chalu's arms, and just confirming like I am going to be kind of bound by these chains as well, right? Is that what's going on?
So,
Well,
until she breaks them.
yeah,
Okay. Um, yeah,
So let's
I
hope she doesn't. Let's hope Heartless doesn't miss.
let's hope.
well, um, yeah, I think the effect, the chains binding the dragon, like we watch these blue flames kind of crawl up the chains, and then almost like the way that tide comes in or waves come in and come out, this blue flame kind of crawls up them, and then pulls back like significant chunks of the chains with them, and they sort of like curl up Chaolu's arms and wrap around his body. And there are probably, arcane symbols or characters written along them. The story of Chaolu or the story of the foxes of Mount Kuni.
Perfect. Heartless. These chains are a foe that is now on your level.
All
So
right.
please roll duel.
Okay, I am rolling with water as well. My ink, uh, the it turns out fox spirits, little wisps. We together will bring that, and essentially what it is she very quickly marks the root, essentially the symbol for release on the flaming neck piece that's right around his neck to stop, to quit those ties. And let's see how this goes. So I'm rolling 2d6 and I'm going to be adding 3 to it.
Your water is 3. Your water is 2, right?
No. Oh, no, my water's 2. Sorry. Okay, I'm rolling 2 to it.
Look at that. So you will shatter those chains. And you may, because you rolled a 10 plus, you may declare a shift in the fiction. What happens then when those chains shatter? We've
Uh,
got the factor of the dragon being free. We've got the factor of the curtain coming down. We've got the factor of all three of you in the middle of the cage, standing there.
oh, oh. I think I have to disappear the dragon.
Okay.
So,
So if you wish to do that, then because that ability is rolled when you bring it out, you may go ahead and like tell what does Chow Lu see you do, and where does the dragon get sucked into?
essentially, you see her draw a strip of paper, essentially silk paper, out. She does her wand again, and she goes, "Come with me. I will keep you safe." And she does this sort of like she draws what looks like it's a symbol, a magical symbol of protection, and he's gone. His picture is on the scroll, and essentially she folds it up and she puts it in probably like her sleeve.
Yeah, I think Chow, you might be a little surprised because it did not look like the dragon wanted to go, and then it was in the scroll. Chow, it's about to get very hairy in here. There's this. We're starting to get the light as the top of the cage covering is coming off. It's just you and Heartless. No dragon. What do you want to do?
Um, I don't know Heartless Don. Heartless, you've been keeping your celestial nest secret, right? I don't know
Yes,
you have this power to vanish, right?
right.
Oh boy, oh boy.
She goes, "Go, go, go,
Go where? There's no place to go.
hide out, sneak, use the shadows."
Okay, we'll catch up later.
Yes.
And I don't know where Chaolu is going to go because I feel like we were in the middle of a like an amphitheater of some kind.
Yes, I think that there is a move that you have though that do this. I think that this is an appropriate time to use Pursuit of Vengeance.
Okay, I was normally going to wait until I was actually being actively foot chased, but if you will let it apply here,
I think it is the move that comes closest to you cheesing it.
certainly. I guess yeah, if you take the language, I am technically evading, pursuit.
Mhm.
Then yeah, absolutely. Then I think uh uh speed, am I trying to get out before anyone sees? This is Jansha, so I feel like, yeah, I feel like Chao Lu can like summon just like this burst, this absolutely inhuman burst of speed faster than people can blink, and just zip out of there.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we will roll with fire, which is +3. It's
Look at
14.
that. You get 2 picks.
Well, let's see. Uh, 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 I mean, I I could bring Heartless Dandan along, but
If you,
then that would not be playing to my agenda of concealing my truth. Although it's kind of fun. We're getting towards the second half, and I do not know that she has this power. And if Heartless Dandan is okay with it, I would not mind just like grabbing her wrist and like just going, hold on. Um, and another one. Uh, uh,
Do you have an idea? I have a suggestion.
I would love to hear your suggestion.
I think if you choose to humiliate your pursuers, we will see that tarp lift up into the air, kind of with the breeze that you kick up, and will actually come down on all those cultivators out there.
Amazing. I love it. Let's go with it.
Yeah, there's a woof. And Heartless, I don't think you expected this. Like you
Nope.
knew there was something up with Shaolu, but woof, and you are the wind, the bars part, and you are a block away, the two of you, and you hear the shouting in the square. So Da, you are standing there. You see them drawing back the covering of the cage, and then there is this explosion of wind. And the great tarp that was over it, that they were halfway pulling off, goes over and falls on all of the masters, Calm Wing, and Flickering Breath, and a bunch of other people. And there is much shouting, and swords are coming out and cutting it free, and people are shouting, and you can see that the cage is empty, and there are just these chains lying there. What do you do, Ming?
I think Deming turns to Flickering Breath and says, I knew you didn't have anything here. You've made a fool out of everyone.
Oof. Oof. Let's have you roll impress.
All right. Let's see. I think which element is that? That is going to be probably fire.
Okay.
So that's an 11.
That is an 11. So you get to pick two options.
Let's see. I'll clear a marked element.
Okay.
And I will I'll gain a favor from an observer.
Okay.
Actually, no. I'll create a bond with I'll say with Xiao Ming.
Okay. So I think that they're you shout that out, you kind of fall back into the crowd a little bit as people are doing that. She's cut through and come out, and she's red-faced and embarrassed. You can see that her brother Calm Wing is looking at you with eyes that speak death. And the four masters are kind of divided. A couple of them seem like their attention is really on, like, okay, there's a dragon that's gotten loose, and a couple of them are like trying to keep, oddly enough, Flickering Breath and Calm Wing calm, and keep the situation in the square calm, because there's now kind of shouting and pushing and arguing going on amongst the cultivators and the different factions and the monster hunters and all this, that, and the other thing. And like people are trying to take charge. Song, you see all of this. I think it is less screwball comedy to you than more than just tragedy playing out before your eyes. What is it? What is it that you want to do?
So last we saw a song, he had played his song of despair, and he'd heard this voice in his head, commiserating with him, and I think he is intrigued. He can feel the supernatural presence in this voice, and he's like a kindred soul. And so I think I'm going to maybe use my my move, my study move. Which one is it? Oh, Eerie Moon and Evil Star.
Oh, absolutely.
And he reaches out to try to contact this voice and learn more about it. I'm not sure if he knows it's a dragon.
Yeah, what do you want to roll that with?
See, I guess something about perception, awareness. So
Okay.
maybe water.
Sure.
Okay. Let's see, that would be a +1. Okay, it's a 7.
That is a 7. So what is your question?
What would his question be? Not my question, but his question. Let me see, what are my options here?
You can ask about a person, you can ask about a situation.
Mhm.
My fallback is if you think about other apocalypse PBTA style games, you can frame it in terms of those questions or however you wish.
Hmm.
And it's magic, so you can ask almost anything.
How can I be united with my kindred soul? I think that's what Song really wants to know.
I think there will be a flash. You'll feel that that soul has been caught up in something, captured, held, and I think that you will have a flash, a vision, a familiar feeling, and you will see heartless Don Don.
Arr. Always in the way of my love.
Yes. So the square is kind of, yeah, people are trying to get things settled there. Chaolu, Heartless, what are the two of you doing?
She turns to me, she goes, thank you. I owe you. I understand that.
Oh, no, no, of course not. Don't mention it. And I mean that. Don't mention it.
Okay, I will not mention. So I said I was going to meet some people for breakfast.
Oh, I don't think that's happening.
You don't think so?
You okay? Well, let's see. You just vanished a dragon.
That's right.
And now you just want to go to breakfast. Okay, well, sure. I suppose that's a thing that you can do. Who are you having breakfast with?
My former, well, it's hard to describe. It was someone that I taught how to be a scribe. Yeah, there. So former student and his new master.
Oh, this wouldn't be Green Saber Jachi, would it?
How do you?
Well, we've traveled together a little before, and well, I might have at one point unsuccessfully, mind you, attempted to court Green Saber Jachi.
He's so handsome, isn't he?
Oh gosh, it's
His
just
cheekbones.
heartbreakingly dreamy. It is unfair.
It is so unfair. And my rival, I think that they do not even see it. I don't know. Or maybe it's just that they're tormenting me with their absolute disregard for how beautiful it is. Anyway, I was thinking breakfast with them. And it would probably be good if we split up since we just caused a big ruckus.
Would you like me to distract the Green Saber?
No. No, because if you're distracting him, he's watching you, right? Are we going to be rivals?
No, no, no.
Okay.
I'm untethered by matters of the heart.
Oh, that must be very nice. I'm pretty
Oh,
much
it
all
is.
tethers. So,
But they call you heartless. Why do they call you heartless, by the way?
because I always give my heart away.
Just like
I
a
have
second and
since
just
I
like
was
have an
tiny.
awe. What are you going to do with the dragon? I have to know. Or where did it where it went like up your in the scroll, right? Where you're not just gonna leave him there, are you?
No, No, I'm going to take him to a place where I can safely open him back up. And if he decides he's gonna kill me, he can get that done and not hurt anyone else. And that he can pick and choose. He clearly was affected by something. I don't know why he was acting insane. That is not how dragons are. Very wise. They're very clever. And he was saying a lot of very silly things. You should understand revenge requires survival first. She's not accustomed to that from a dragon. So I think something must have, and I am sure that his resistance to those things was lowered because of all of the stuff that he has been put through. So hopefully you'll have a chance to recover some, and I'm sure that it'll go rather rocky for me. So best if you not be around.
I'm just going to meditate on that last little bit for a second. And you don't have to do this alone, you know.
Because it's okay. I taste like ink. It's not like he's going to chew me up completely. Just a few bites. It'll be all right.
It's noble of you to try to martyr yourself like this, but
I
have you
know the
ever
definition of martyr. I'm not sure entirely how it fits here.
I am afraid that dragon is going to destroy you when he's finally released. Maybe I'm misreading the situation, unless of course you have the dragon's heart, but you're going to give that back to him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Good. It belongs to him.
Right. Exactly.
What else can I do? I want to be of help, but I don't know how at this point.
Have to get out of here. It's now, back to regular business. That's it. Get a little distance.
Nothing about this place feels like regular distance or regular business. We have cultivators who are stealing the hearts of dragons, passing out dragon scales. We have people who are capturing spirits in the woods. There's a weird tiger out in the mountain somewhere still. There's a fox demon apparently.
Wait,
somewhere
fox
running
demon?
around. Oh yes, there's a fox demon, by the way, as well, on top of the weird tigers. I think it's coming here. I think it might actually be the fox demon coming for vengeance against Flickering Breath. There's a part of the story that I
How
had.
do I know? Now, this is a question that I've always had. There's the foxes, the fox people, and then there's the fox demon. When does a tailed fox become a fox demon? Is it at the second tail, the third tail, the seventh tail?
It's usually the second tail. Once they can start transforming into people, and after that, the only way they can further cultivate is by, well, they're not spirits, which is why I think they're classified as demons. They have to absorb the life energy of others, of people. That's the only way they can continue to cultivate, and that's why they often seduce mortals and exist in places full of life and vivacity, and acquire charming adventuring friends.
They sound like dangerous folk.
They are. They absolutely are. If you ever see one, you should run away as fast as possible.
But I wanted to go to breakfast. I just wanted you to know that. And so she sort of hits your shoulder and she goes, I don't know how many tails you have, but if you say you're a demon, that's fine.
I'm not. Wait, I'm excuse me. Pardon, I'm not a fox demon.
Are you sure?
I'm quite positive. I'm Chao Lu. I'm a storyteller.
All right. With will-o-wisps, right?
Yes. Okay, listen. All right, if you absolutely must know the truth, You cannot. You have to
Can
promise
I
not to
write this
tell.
down?
If you if you really
Okay.
want to. I'm not somebody worth writing a story down about. Listen, I'm
And you
really
see this, you see the characters for the words that you're saying sort of appearing in the air, very small between the two of you, almost to the point where it's just between your eyes and hers.
I am a fairy
So am
from
I.
You're from the fairy realm as well?
No, no, that's not where no, but I am one. Fairy just means that you're made of the essence of something.
Well, yes, I'm actually a really low tier spirit. I haven't actually passed the immortal examination yet. I'm my real name.
I have a study guide.
Oh, could I would love to see it at some
Oh,
point.
yes. Oh, yes, I will get that to you.
But just know that
Well, actually, and she sort of riffles through her sleeves and she brings out a little piece of paper and she hands it to you.
Ooh, well, thank you.
When you want to read it, you just open it up like that, and there's a little riddle. And when you can answer the riddle, you'll have the study guide.
Oh, that's exciting. I'll have to take a look, but I have to warn you, I don't want this all to be in vain. I haven't actually cultivated a lot of chi. I had to take a chi enhancing pill just to be able to acquire this form. And it's really, other than the occasional burst of speed and its innate handsomeness, there's just not a lot to this human form.
It kind of looks up because what kind of chi is it that you prefer to absorb?
Uh, uh, well, as a peach blossom, which is what I am, uh, I tend to prefer sunlight and fresh soil and the onlookers of beautiful people.
Oh, that is obscure. I can see why you have trouble raising your cultivation level. It's very seasonal.
Yes, yes. Winters are absolutely terrible for me.
I can see that. Well, I will think on your problem. See if I could come up with a solution. Remember, it's always whatever season you want in heaven. Anyway,
Oh,
breakfast it is for me.
yes, you go to breakfast. If you need me, I suppose scream very loudly.
Okay. Ciao, Lou. That's what I will do. That sounds great.
And please, yes, it's Chowlu. Don't call me Peach Blossom in public. That would be very incredibly embarrassing.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense to me.
So let me cut there. I want to come back to Da Ming and Song and kind of wrap back around. Da Ming, right now, there's essentially, you will see the different masters there. You can see your master, Master Iron, is kind of trying to get things settled out, and there seems to be lots of differing tensions right now. In particular, you'll see that Panther Mountain, Unfettered Frost, they seem to be focused in on like getting the monster hunters to leave the area, and they seem to be kind of taking the hardest line, while the other two are kind of not. So what do you want to do? You've certainly seen that at least at this point, Flickering Breath is kind of withdrawn. There's some monster hunters around with her. You'll see Calm Wing is there. You will see Bay Mon, your erstwhile student, is present watching all of this happen.
I think I want to take this opportunity to look for Xiaoming and see if this is a good time to try to bring him together with Qiaolu and reconcile by proving that Qiaolu is not is human. While before this, some of these monster hunters depart.
Yeah, I think you will find Xiao Ming. They are at the edges of this, kind of wondering what's going on. And you see that they have kind of a look of suspicion on their face. And they will see you, Da Ming.
Xiaoming, as you can see, many of these so-called monster hunters are really just charlatans who go around accusing people of being spirits in disguise or claim to have captured monsters when they haven't. I think perhaps you would reconsider your earlier accusations against my friend Xiao Lu, and I was hoping we could bring you together and sort things out.
Let's have you roll hearts and minds.
Yeah, I think um, we'll probably see water, wisdom,
That seems
and
fair.
that is a 13.
Yeah. He will say, that seems reasonable. There's something weird going on here. I don't understand what it is, but Master Iron has said that there is something important here. Uh, you say they're charlatans, but Master Iron does not think they are. Master Iron thinks that this brother and sister, Calm Wing and Flickering Breath, have something to offer.
I think they are very clever deceivers in some cases. They may have some gift of some kind, but they have, I think, vastly overinflated their ability to discern the realities of what's happening.
I will forgive you because the comments that you make seem to invite some disrespect of our master. So let us set that aside, but Bing, um, you said you wanted to consult with Xiaoming. Let us do that, and we will see what the circumstances are. But Master Iron takes him seriously, and I think we have to seriously consider that.
Oh, certainly, I meant no disrespect to Master Iron. I believe that he has a subtle plan in mind that does not necessarily require us to take these others at their word.
We will certainly see. Let us go find Xiao Lu then.
Yes, by all means.
Okay. And I think we're going to cut back to you finding Xiao Lu, but I want to get Song in here first. Song?
So
Yeah,
I'll narrate and you tell me when I need to make a roll for any of this.
Sure.
I think we see Song at the inn where he knows that Heartless is staying.
mhm.
Because he still has this prank that he has to pull on Heartless, but now he's got more of a motivation. Well, he has some additional motivations now. And I think the innkeeper is sweeping the inn, and Song, there's no one in it because it's still early in the day. And Song enters and pulls out his zither and starts playing like a sleepy lullaby
Okay.
to put the innkeeper, he's so tired. He needs to take a rest. He's been working very hard. It was a party night last night here in the inn. And if he does fall asleep, we'll see Song plucking the keyring from his waist and making his way up to Heartless's room. And then
that
you want me
seems
to roll
reasonable.
now? Does that
No,
seem
I
reasonable so far?
don't think there
there
is
will be
any need.
rolls.
I don't think Heartless is particularly given one to have strong locks or such on there. So I think you will come up into Heartless's rooms.
And I think as he enters, there's some sort of vanity there because he knows that Heartless likes to brush her hair quite a bit. And so he pulls out the little vial that he got at the apothecary earlier on, and he drops some dust into the brush. And then he starts searching the room, and he's searching now for something that will give him leverage over Heartless, because Heartless is not going to release his kindred spirit without some leverage. So he wants to search her chambers for something that will give him some kind of a leverage over her.
That is interesting. Heartless, what do you think about this? What is this in your context here?
Interesting, because I really don't think of her as being a person who carries like anything. Except for her ink brush. So if she were keeping anything,
Well, actually, maybe you pause here.
okay.
I'm actually going to have you answer that question in a second.
Okay.
Song, why don't you make a study roll for me?
Yeah, I think I figured that was coming. So, all right. So, let me just take a quick look here. I'm going to go ahead and use wood
Okay.
for curiosity. Let's see, I've got the roller here. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
All right, so that's a 10.
So let me ask you this, and you can tell me how if this fits with your conception of things, Heartless. What is it that Song Tian will find there that tells him that you are a celestial, that you are a fairy, and not just a human being?
Think that one of her ink blots is there. And you see it, it is a classic black one, but I don't know if you know what those look like, but essentially it's soot, like very, very fine soot that has been pressed, and like it's mixed with glue. And then when they press it, they often press it with like a imprint. And this is a very ornate imprint that's been made. And it was clearly a gift that was given to her. And you see that it is to my little beloved daughter. And then it has the name of like the celestial fire dragon. And it's not that she's his daughter. You can tell that it's like like it's the endearment, not the actual daughter, that sort of thing. But it has that thing in the sort of weird print of his claw and sort of thumb thing below it. It's very like
I do think Song Tian, there is that bit where like you kind of realize like the Heartless Don Don, like everything, the drawing along, the people, the fates, all of that, has not just been accident, has been like the forces of the higher powers. So what do you do, Song? And I imagine you still got that little thing of dust in your hand too.
No, the dust has already been placed on the
Oh, that's
on the
already been
brush.
done. Yes, it's already
That's-
on the brush. You've already
I've-
committed to that when you
I've already
realize
committed to
that
that.
you've done that to a celestial fairy.
Oops. um uh so Song is holding the block, and because I have another hold, right?
Yeah.
On that one.
And you can ask a question or you can make a
Or I could declare a
declaration.
detail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I'm going to declare a detail
Okay.
that if I were to shatter the block close to one of Heartless's spells, it would shatter the spell. How's that? Is that too strong?
I think that might be a little too strong because that would still be that'd be something we want rolled on.
We want rolled on. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Maybe I'll just keep my second hold.
Okay.
For later.
Yeah, you could certainly use it to track them down or something of that sort. But
Oh,
if
maybe
you-
there's a clue where about the breakfast scene. Would there be a clue, Heartless, about your breakfast date somewhere in your chambers?
Yeah, yeah, that there might be,
Okay.
essentially that she's gone and, what to say, probably because she has trouble telling the different things, she's written down, like she's drawn a perfect picture of the front of the place. Does that make any sense? Because these
Mhm.
all look the same to her. These human abodes, they don't have, they're just boxes. And so where are the palaces? Is the question.
So let me come back to Chaolu. Then we'll bring potentially Heartless Don Don Song together, and we'll figure out about where Don Ming is in this. Or the breakfast going on one place. But Chaolu, you split from Heartless. And then what do you do?
I think we would head back to the square. That might be a little meta just to get us, crossing paths with Da Ming, but I don't really know
Yeah.
where else to.
No, I think there's certainly some chaos that is being talked down. Masters are taking people in different directions. It seems like the three cultivation societies are like splitting and having discussions about where they want to go. The monster hunters still seem to be together. I think the one thing you will see as you go through before I kind of let you take your thing is you will see Calm Wing uh, uh, speaking with his sister, and she is not looking up. She's clearly, as they say, gotten a talking to.
Oh, I want to be nosy. She's yeah. When I last saw her, I was in my quote unquote native form. So why not just stick to that and just rush over in totally feigned concern, like I heard there was a giant commotion. Uh is everything all right?
Uh, and are you trying to do this with both of them, the brother and sister present, or are you trying to do this isolated away so you can speak to Flickering Breath privately? What's your goal here?
um oh gosh, well, if I'll give them some time, and if I see that they're about to split off, then yeah, I'll wait and catch up with Flickering Breath
Okay.
when she's by herself.
Then I think that there is a bit like you can tell she gets a talking to. There seems to be some dissension amongst the various cultivators, and eventually she will kind of withdraw a bit by herself as all of this is going down. She's still kind of being, I want to say, courted or at least afforded opportunities by Master River there from White Mountain, who seems to be saying, "No, it'll be fine. Be fine. You gave us the scales. We'll figure out what happened to the dragon," kind of thing. The other two cultivator families are maybe not as forgiving, but yeah, you will see some of the other monster hunters are there. You actually see your sister by Mon kind of keeping them away from her, clearly kind of running interference. And you can approach Flickering Breath.
Then yeah, then when we get the opportunity to do so, um, we'll come in with all of our platitudes of. I heard there was some commotion in the square. Uh, Something about well, I don't really know.
There was a someone, and she'll look at the cultivators. Someone clearly acted against us. We've had resentment, and I knew it would be difficult for us, but I did not expect this. I still don't know who has done this.
Do you have any leads?
Uh, my brother will look into the situation. I have this, this was not an easy thing to do,
What?
and
How did you accomplish it?
she will turn away from you. You can tell she doesn't want to say.
I've heard some rumors that there was a dragon, and I've heard that there is someone in this camp that they have been calling a dragon tamer because a heart was given.
Hearts and minds, Jialu.
Let's go, baby. I'm hoping I'm being oblique enough about that, but
I think absolutely. I think you definitely are.
In that sense, do I want to lean on creativity? Creativity and passion. I think both curiosity could also apply there since I'm trying to pull information out. Or presence. Presence actually, like presence in the sense of in the sense of using my personality to try and pull information out. I think that applies. We'll go with Earth. 12?
12.
Where's these dice coming from?
I'm waiting for the inner conflict.
It's gotta happen in this scene.
She says, you have to understand how hard it was for my brother and I, how difficult it has been. We are the grandchildren of people who were called villains and labeled that way by the villainous, by those who hid behind a facade of heroism. We have spent our lives hiding who we are to get to where we need to be. But, and she'll pause.
I mean, I feel like we're already in inner conflict territory.
Yeah,
So
we're going to get that in here in a moment.
Got it. Yeah, make it hurt. Go.
She says, my grandmother tried to teach us, and my brother learned well, that love was a weapon. She had a foxtail that she had gained from love, and it was, I adored it. It was a beautiful thing, but I knew that it was gained wrongly. I could tell, but when the dragon came, my brother convinced me to follow that path, to be false, to be untrue to myself, to lie, and to steal his heart. And
So it's
I-
true then.
it is. It is true. I did this thing. I did it for my family, to my regret, to my shame. And I don't think I can ever love again. How about that inner conflict now?
Yeah. We've been in inner conflict now for for minutes,
Yes.
but yeah, this whole time Jiaolu has just been like, heart is in his throat. Gosh, I feel like control is just always the easy answer for inner conflict, like trying to hold on, trying to not let things, but patience, growth, curiosity. Yeah, let's do inner conflict -1. What's the worst that can happen with our dice that have been going on so far? This worked so well last time. Still a 7
Still a 7.
on my
So
worst dice roll.
do you want to flee the scene, or do you want to mark that element?
I have 0 elements marked. As dramatic as fleeing the scene would be to let her know that that Chaolu is definitely
Affected, bothered by what she said?
But I think I will go ahead and mark Wood to stay in the scene, and who knows, maybe she's still like gets a hint. um
What do you say to her?
I gotta make it about the tail. Just like weird. Actually, no. That would be too obvious. That would not be in my interest as a fox demon. Um, I'll tell her this. Let's keep writing this story that I've been building. Um, I'll stand in front of her. Like if we've been doing the Aaron Sorkin walk and talk side by side, shoulder to shoulder kind of thing, we'll actually cross in front of her path and stand in front of her and say, some of your soldiers have been lying to you. They caught a fox spirit in the western path outside of this village just a few days ago. I've been asking about it because I know the story of Chao Lu and Ashen Twilight and Bao Zhang, Jin the Exorcist. I grew up with that story. I actually took Chao Lu's name because when I was young, I believed in the heroism of those people, but you're right. Who could ever be who could ever be heroes when they pal around with a fox demon? Um, but since
Who were
then,
they? Who were they? Who were they answering to? If were they answering to my brother?
the hunters, the monster hunters,
Yes.
were answering to you.
But why didn't they? No, if they didn't tell me, they must have been answering to someone else, my brother or my grandmother, either one of them who is here.
Your grandmother is here?
Yes. Didn't I tell you that Peerless Zhelan is here?
No.
Let's take our first break.
Oh,
10 minutes,
no.
and then we'll come back and we'll go to Da Ming. So we're back. Song Tian had a question for Heartless. Do you think that the ink block revealed anything about like Heartless's parentage or line or anything else in that besides the sort of the kind of celestial connection?
I sort of pictured her as being a drop of ink wrapped in divinity, that essentially a writer and thinker of great repute set up when he chose not to ascend himself, but to stay and martyr himself for a good cause. But he sent up a drop of ink and the divinity. And so she's an ink fairy that was sort of like sent up to heaven, and unlike most celestials, she was kind of raised there. So she is of them the most childish, of them the most, she isn't someone who practiced down on earth until they became pure and wondrous, nor was she a mythical creature. She was a spoiled little fairy girl, is what she is for all practical purposes.
So what I want to do in terms of this is I want to check in with Da Ming, probably bring the intersection with Chao Lu at that point. Then I want to come to Artless Don Don, get the start of that breakfast before we bring Song Tian onto the scene there, potentially. So Da Ming, I think as you are walking, uh, uh, Xiao Ming will say, did you get things settled out with the question of why those people were hunting you?
Yes, I learned that they were looking for I believe I learned that out of character. I think we learned last time that they were looking for a
Fox spirit.
fox spirit. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I tell him that they were
And
looking for
they mistook you for a fox spirit.
um I it's possible that I simply wandered across them while they were in the woods, but they, as I said, many of these monster hunters, may be somewhat imprecise with their methods.
Interesting. And I think you will see, maybe a little bit to your chagrin,
Mhm.
Da Ming, even as you're saying that, you'll see Chao Lu in close conversation with Flickering Breath. Your student is kind of nearby, sort of like keeping people away. They clearly want to talk to Flickering Breath, but she's kind of
Yeah.
keeping them away.
Yeah, I think so. Daming will go up and nod to Xiaolu and bow to Flickering Breath and say,
She
like,
says, she says, you have no reason to bow to me.
I'm sorry. I must apologize for for gloating about your humiliation earlier. My brother Xiaoming tells me that our Master Iron believes your skills are necessary to help us, and if that is the case, then I must trust in his judgment um, and accept, despite my pride, that you may have some skills that could be useful in this circumstance.
I, I appreciate those words.
Um,
Do you know, I believe you know Chao Lu?
I do, and I was actually hoping that you would be able to help us with resolve a long-standing dispute between me and my brother here. And I believe that once this has been resolved, we should be able to help you with your mission here, and And if our Master Iron is correct that you are truly a skilled monster hunter, then there must be a powerful force at work here to elude you. And if that's true, that's a dangerous to all of us.
Yeah, so and she'll look at Xiao Lu and Da Ming and your brother Xiao Ming and say, what do you need?
Many years ago, my brother Xiaoming was led to believe that my friend Xiao Lu here was a demon in disguise, and that was caused a serious disagreement between us. And we know that you, being a skilled monster hunter, should be able to help resolve once and for all that um, Brother Xiao's impression was mistaken. And I'm sure you have a method of some kind to discern whether someone is truly human or a demon in disguise.
Yes, she says. As a matter of fact, I have a detector here which can see through the guises that spirits, demons, foxes, and such put around themselves. If you would like, I can use it and we can put Xiao Ming's concerns to rest.
That's wonderful. That would be such a great relief to both of us, to all of us.
I don't think that's necessary.
Please, Xiaolu, I trust you with my life, but it would simply help mend my relationship with Xiaoming, who means so much to me.
No, you see, Xiao Ming is right. There is a fox demon named Xiao Lu, and I am not what I appear to be.
It is I! And you see from behind you this figure draw off their mask, and you will see this fox spirit girl goes, ha ha! And she will leap across and she will knock over Flickering Breath, and she bounds off into the city. What do you do, Da Ming?
Um, I'm gonna run after her.
Okay. And you will suddenly take off in chase. And Chaolu, you will see Da Ming chasing your sister.
Oh boy. Why? Why? Why, Xiao Yue? Also, how dare she steal my playing card from the last story? How dare she?
She's heard all your stories.
God. Uh,
I think Xiao Ming will take off to follow Da Ming.
you know, oh gosh, part of me wants to say she's a big girl. She can handle herself in this. Flickering Breath hasn't begun pursuing her yet. Do we let them go or do we pursue? I am kind of feeling conflicted about this, so I don't really particularly have a reason to stay. Other than
Then Flickering Breath, emotionally vulnerable, hurt, getting herself up off the ground there, like kind of not following what's going on.
okay, yeah. If that's the case, then yeah, blinkers back on. I need to find her grandmother. So I'm gonna trust Chao Yue to be able to handle herself, and we will maybe do a little comfort and support of a flickering breath here.
So we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
And we'll come back to Da Ming's pursuit of Yue. And I don't know if you have any moves particularly specifically for that, Da Ming.
I don't think so.
Okay, but we'll do an overcome when
Yeah.
we come back to you. But let's check in with Heartless Don Don. You will arrive
Yes,
at the
and
breakfast
I am
place.
so vexed because I've drawn a picture of this restaurant and I don't have it with me. and I had to remember the details and like what the symbols were. And of course, their menu is the most drab, ordinary menu, so the menu things don't help. But anyway, I finally find a little bit and piece of a character that's only on this building. So I'm even a little bit later than I wanted to be.
And I definitely think that Moonsworn Heart and Green Saber are there already. Clearly have been there for a bit, probably got there early.
Mhm.
And they are in deep conversation as you come in.
Right. And I sort of step off, step up and I wait and I bow and I say, please forgive me for my lateness. There was a great deal of excitement in the square. I got caught up in the middle of it.
That's all right. I understand how you operate, she says. And you see her kind of lean away, puts her hand on Green Saber's shoulder as if to say, move yourself over a little bit. Can I please have you roll inner conflict?
Yes. Why are you so cruel to me? Okay, so this could be fire because I can't help it. It's so the worst. Why is my life so terrible? I say. So it's 2d6 plus 1.
Yep,
That's a 9.
that is a 9. Would you like to mark fire, or would you like to somewhat clumsily and obviously leave?
I think I stand there and there's literally, so I have no sense of it, probably a little bit of smoke in my eyes, and the kind of, and I will bow and say, thank you, to take my seat. And I say, I'm so glad that you could join me.
All right,
I'm being very formal and very polite.
go ahead and mark fire. And you took that XP for rolling inner
No, I
conflict?
didn't, but let's get that going. So I did spend those 8, so I just did marking this down to 1.
I see, but another move.
Yeah.
Okay. She'll say, so what have you learned of what you're pursuing, Heartless?
The stones. And she goes, I have merely a gestalt. And probably very much the same one that you do. There's a push, and she sort of stops and she draws a piece of paper from her sleeve, from her other sleeve, from where she's keeping things. And she sort of draws the map and she goes, the movement, everything is pushing this way. And she sort of, probably it's something that looks like it's going sort of just south of one of the mountains. She goes, does that correspond with your findings or have you some other sense of things?
It does. I have received new orders. There are a variety of spirits and some other things that have gathered here in the city. We believe that an avatar of the great villain Dancer of Loss has arrived here. Somehow she has projected out. She is not manifested in the world, but she is no longer held in her prison. I think she is in someone's dreams. We have been assigned to see if we can find her, or if we can find her avatar, the person that she is going to be manifesting through.
And I think that this is the thing, is that at that point she goes, you know, that I have chosen to watch Song Tian. What would I be looking for?
I don't know if you should see if he speaks of a voice talking to him, speaking to him, reaching out to him. That may be the dancer of loss.
Okay.
He is, I admire you for having followed someone who is so marked and cursed. It is a good strategy.
Strangely fine musician, yet very childlike in some ways. And that's me saying that. It is interesting. I think that perhaps the spirit that curses him also protects him. I wonder if it will protect him from the dancer.
That's an interesting question. I heard that all of the talk from the gathering was that there was a dragon. Is this a dragon that possesses one of these bazoars that you wish?
And I don't know, it sort of stops because I don't know why they would allow the dragon to carry around Basil, unless he stowed it somewhere.
Wow.
I mean, here I am assuming I know little about the situation, so I can look into that. It would.
Well, no. I mean, you take to yours. That is the little task that you have been given.
Yes.
So
Petite, small, discreet.
absolutely. My task is perhaps a little more involved and dangerous, but to each their own.
Exactly. Well, I am sure that you'll report successfully. Here, and just let us celebrate in advance of your success.
I think,
and I ordered the wine and congratulate them already.
Wine glasses are lifted, and I think the camera will tilt back, and I think maybe it will kind of zoom back, and I think through a window somewhere in the background, I think we see Song Tian's face looking in. Song, you have found the restaurant that the illustration was of. You found yourself there, and you see Heartless seated across from a person you're not familiar with, a woman, a man you're not sure, who has with them a person you have seen before, who has crossed paths with Heartless, Green Saber Jacqui, someone that you've seen her, like she has a very strange reaction to. But wow, his cheekbones, they are something. What do you do?
Well, I think if the camera pulled out onto the street, you see Song Tian looking through the glass and also kind of mirroring his tumultuous feelings right now about Heartless Dantan is wind and gusts of wind around him, throwing up garbage and paper, and then he puts his hand out and it slowly calms just a little bit. And then I think he walks into the shop and he walks over to Heartless Dandan and to the table.
And you'll see that the gentleman there who you've seen before, his name is Green Saber Jacqui. He will stand and he will say, Master Tian.
Tian. Oh. And she sort of stops and says, you must be hungry. Won't you join us?
Yes. Thank you, Heartless. Thank you. It's Green Jackie, is that his name?
Yeah, Green Saber, I think is.
Green Saber.
He'll
Green
say, would you like tea, wine? What can I get you, sir?
Tea would be fine, thank you. He says, and he goes and he sits next to Green Saber.
Yeah.
And
We have met briefly in the past, sir. I've had the pleasure of hearing you play.
thank you. I'm surprised to see you all here. Heartless, I did not know you would be here.
I ran into Green Saber Saki earlier and I had not had breakfast and all I could think of was eating, so I suggested that we all meet. It was not particularly well planned, but I'm glad that you were able to join us. Excuse, we'll get more dumplings.
Yes, yes, I'm quite hungry. And I have not met you.
Ah,
Had the
this
pleasure.
is, should we say, my associate on occasion, Moonsworn Heart. I should say probably my superior. And mind you, Moonsword Heart is not my superior,
Right.
but I say that because I just kind of like make things easier so that they don't have to skate it all over me in front of people.
Songtian, I have heard your name before.
Has Heartless Dundon spoken of me? He looks sidelong at Heartless.
No, not so much as your reputation as a musician has preceded you.
Perhaps I could play a song while we wait for our buns to come.
Yes, though you seem troubled by something.
Am I? And again, the wind catches up as if it's coming from nowhere around the table. And I think here Songtian feels like he's missing something, like everyone knows something that he doesn't. So I don't know if there's a way he's trying to perceive, and he knows now that Heartless has a supernatural origin, let's call it.
Right. I think either rolling Eerie Moon or rolling just a straight study is appropriate here, depending on how you mentally want to approach it. Are you trying to lean into sensing the supernatural, or are you more trying to read the scene?
Well, maybe just read the scene.
Okay,
maybe
so
it's
let's have him
study
roll a study roll then.
Okay. And I think maybe it's with Earth, let's say. 1 second. So it's a 10.
So you have 2 hold. What do you want to know?
I want to know, what is the true relationship between Heartless Dundon and, have I learned Moonsworn's name?
Yep.
Yeah. And Moonsworn.
I
Moonsworn
think-
Heart, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think that you know that there is a supernatural element to Heartless Dawn, and I think that, like, as you were looking at Moonsworn Heart, there's something of that same affect and station. They seem like rivals, gentle rivals, but clearly in the same service. And you would guess that Moonsworn is as odd and supernaturally touched as Heartless.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I think
So-
that the thing that your spirit will kind of bring to you is the smell of ginseng from her.
from
You have
Moonsworn.
another hold.
Right. I think I'll keep that in my pocket for
Okay.
now. And I Song Tian will say, it seems the two of you have known each other a long time. Is that true, Heartless? Is Moonsworn a long associate of yours?
Most tutored me in my writing. I learned the brushstrokes from Moonsworn. I could not be who I
You were
am.
born knowing the brushstrokes. I merely aided you in understanding the formal nature of things.
It's good to have someone who can guide you. Is it not, Heartless?
Yes, I have been ever grateful.
And you, sir?
And I think she sort of like uncomfortably like looks at Green Saber Jacques. And I said, and Green Saber has been a student to the both of us at one time.
I am merely an acolyte, not yet cultivated as much as I should be.
And you are an acolyte of what, Green Saber? I have met you before, but I do not know what moves you or drives you. With me, it's music always. But for you?
Is service. I owe my loyalty to Moonsworn Heart, and by extension, Heartless Dun.
You are devoted then.
I am.
And I think I'll spend my second hold here to understand exactly what Green Saber really wants underneath this well, it could be a true
Yeah.
devotion.
Are you asking, or do you want to tell me?
I think what I perceive in Green Saber is, well, let's see, this will be a detail and you can tell me if it's too much.
Sure.
Is that he's only feigning care for either Heartless or Moonsworn. And he actually has more kind of mercenary motivations that are hidden to me, but clearly are not devotion and love for either of them.
Now, I think there's a bit where neither Heartless nor Moonsworn can quite see it, but as an outsider, I think you will see how much in when he leans in, how he presents things, everything, that he is sort of playing the two of them off against each other.
And let's see.
Let me cut on that.
Yeah,
Let
cut
me
on
come
that.
back there. Da Ming through the streets, chasing, pursuing this fox. She has lightness skills equal to your own, from rooftop to rooftop, moving along. Let's have you roll overcome.
Yeah, I think probably fire, right? It says speed, so
Yeah.
go ahead and roll. Oh no.
Okay,
Those
now
dice could not hold out.
you could spend a bond to bump that up if you wanted to, so you don't get the fail. On the other hand, you're going to get the XP.
Ooh,
You're going to get the
I don't-
XP, and then I'm going to make you mark fire.
true. That's my style element. I
It
should
is.
spend the bond. Wait, does it have to be a relevant bond?
You just tell me how your connection with a particular person boosts you forward in this.
Yeah. So I think
Xiao Ming seems the perfect one,
yeah,
since
that makes sense to me since he's here helping me. So I'll go ahead and spend that bond to bump it up to a 7.
So I think you will get a hold. There is that moment when she is running and she does this leap and you will leap too. And I think you'll catch her kind of in midair with your hand. Uh, and I think that that kind of changes the angle of force. And I think you will smash through the wall of a shop. And you end up with her kind of pinned on the ground. What do you do? What do you say?
Do I recognize that this was my student who was in disguise as this fox spirit, or did
That's
I
a
not
study
see?
roll.
Um, I think yeah, I think would like to make a study roll then, see if I can identify who she was disguised as.
Okay.
And I think I will roll with probably water. All right, that's a 10.
So you've got 2 hold. And like your first question is who was she disguised as? And I think
Yeah.
absolutely when 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 she pulled off that disguise in that hurry, it was definitely Baymon. You got another hold as well.
Yeah. I ask about her motive here?
Absolutely. How do you want to phrase that?
What was her motive in choosing to reveal her disguise at that moment?
She was clearly trying to distract you. She was really trying to distract you from something else that was happening.
Yeah, so I'll say to her, tell me why you interposed yourself in our discussion there.
And I think that she will like kind of open her mouth and to say something and then kind of gets quiet. And I think, Dumbing, you'll hear a and I think you'll look over and you'll see Heartless, Song Tian, and these other 2 people kind of from across this tavern that you've smashed into, kind of looking up at you.
Ah, Ming, we were just having breakfast.
Oh, I hope I haven't spoiled anything.
My
I was
roof!
just chasing this fox demon, and happened to land
Spirit.
and happened to crash through this wall. But how fortuitous! Please help me detain this interloper.
A real fox demon. Wow.
Spirit.
Spirit.
Yes, there's a difference between fox spirits and fox demons. It's something about the number of tails, isn't it?
Moonsworth Heart says there is no difference between a fox demon and a fox spirit.
Are you sure?
I am sure that is the kind of thing that they say when they're trying to hide themselves.
Oh.
And she'll draw out a set of glowing manacles and throw them over to you, Daming, and say, put these on her.
I will go ahead and do that.
Okay. You will kind of hold the manacles out and she will look at you very sad. And she will hold out her hands to you. Do what you would, Daming.
I say, Ming, this is the end of her.
Oh, it seems like you're hesitating.
Roll inner
Let's have
conflict,
inner
I think.
conflict.
All right. I'll roll with water again.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. right, so that is a 6.
I think there was a moment of hesitation, and then I think you will slap those manacles closed on her, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have no.
That's the bad choice, isn't it?
I do.
Do you
I
want to
don't have a
burn a
bond with her.
bond?
I don't think.
Oh no, you have a bond with Chalu. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many chows.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you want to burn a
yeah.
bond to push that up to not immediately?
I don't have a bond with her though.
Well, we could
Uh,
burn any bond for
Oh.
Any
yourself.
bond?
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I don't know that I have. I feel bad about it, but I don't have a reason to not, particularly in
Okay.
front of all these people.
Let's make it dramatic. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll put the manacles on her.
Okay. And she looks smaller when you do that. And you will hear Moonsworn Heart say, "You will stay there, Fox. Sit and wait, and I will take you to where you need to go when we are done with our breakfast." Master Ming, please come and join us.
Yes, I'm sorry about the wall. We're just gonna leave it.
She says, I have coin. I will cover the damage with the innkeep. There's no need to worry. You have done a great service to the heavens today.
Thank you so much. I will never say no to a nice breakfast.
Well, come and sit. We just brought dumplings for Master Song here. I will order another plate of those.
And Song has a dumpling in his hand and he says, Master Moonsworn, are you a monster hunter then? There are so many monster hunters here. You must be one of them.
No. Monster Hunters focus in on that in a mercenary way. That is they are trappers, common. If I happen to come across monsters in my tasks, then, and I can bring them in for reformation, then so the better. But it is not my primary purpose.
Then you and Heartless are of a higher order, no doubt. And a higher purpose.
Well, I am certainly.
Oh, I see.
And Heartless nods. Yeah.
More food?
Oh, please.
And another round will be ordered for the table. Daming, you kind of look, she just sits there in the other room, and food is brought for you. I think like maybe another moment later, you will see your brother, who's kind of been following along, maybe tried to cut around the path, will kind of come down through the hole in the ceiling and will say, Daming.
Hello, glad you caught up with us. Please join us for breakfast.
How you were able to restrain this fox demon? Spirit.
Yes, with the assistance of our friends here.
Sits down. I think that I was wrong. I owe you an apology, Daming. This is clearly the fox spirit that I felt before. Perhaps it was following you. I have to apologize to your friend Chao Lu.
Oh, I'm sure he will understand. He has been beset himself by mischievous fox spirits, and they created some problems for us earlier as well, when we were attacked by monster hunters. So no doubt he will understand the confusion.
It is embarrassing. And he will introduce himself as Dom Ming's brother. They come from the mountain, and he will greet all of you.
We'll order more plates of buns. My breakfast tab keeps growing.
Yes.
Now it's in a race with the tab for the roof. Who will
Yeah.
end up putting down more silver?
I'm going to cut back to Chao Lu. I'm sorry about what happened there.
You
I-
you have nothing to apologize for.
no, I should have known that there was a fox spirit so near to me. Um, I apologize for being so unawares.
No, it's those those Hulijing, they are a crafty lot. If anyone could detect them, then they would have died out long ago. Isn't that right?
I am, unlike my brother, I do have perhaps a soft spot for them. My grandfather did, where my grandmother spoke,
I
my
should
grandfather spoke more with more fondness for them.
May I ask who he was?
I My father was to have been the heir to the Ox Pilgrim Escort Bureau, but his father turned out to have become a villain, to have taken on the identity of ageless sin. And so my grandfather turned against his father and joined with my grandmother, Peerless Zhelan. I don't think
That's
they ever loved one another, but it was a marriage of convenience.
that's heartbreaking. But your grandmother, Peerless Zhelan, she was a hero. Uh, she defeated Chao Lu and
She, she was, there are many kinds of heroes, orthodox and unorthodox, and I would put her in the latter category.
oh, certainly. Everything I've heard, she was an adept warrior, understandably, a sorceress, some might say, uh, though there are perhaps kinder terms to use for that. Uh, but
She was a villain, but she became a villain because of what happened to her. But, and then when the war came, she remained in, it is what it is.
it is, and the past is the past, and that's all it needs to be. They're stories. They're uh, but hers
Yeah.
is a story that I grew up with, and I should like to meet this hero of the stories, the legends that I grew up with.
You do not wish to meet her. She is, they say that fox spirits are tricksters, but my grandmother is more of a trickster. I know she is here in the city. She has sent me messages, but I do not know what guise that she wears.
She lies even to you.
She lies especially to us. Perhaps not to my brother. She always favored him.
I see. That is something of a conundrum.
But she did raise my brother and I, my grandfather and her, after my parents died.
You said she had the foxtail. Does she still have it?
Yes, that's how she assumed such a perfect guise.
Oh, of course. Silly me. I forget sometimes how powerful, but a single foxtail can be. I I must confess. As I said, I feel like I should not leave a point unaddressed that I'm not who I say I am, and that's true. Uh,
Yes, you did say that. We were interrupted. Is your name not Chaolu?
It is the name I prefer, but it is a name that I took from that story. Because before I knew he was a fox demon, I found the character of Chaolu quite fascinating, to be honest. But I am actually just a lowly peach blossom fairy. That's all.
You are a fairy? A celestial?
Uh, by strict definition, yes, but not. If you were thinking of cultivating and capturing and cultivating me, please no. I would hardly gain you a year or two if you were to absorb all of my power.
And she says you should be careful who you tell that to. Should be very careful. There are those around here, my brother and my grandmother included, who would dearly love to capture a celestial for their own purposes.
You would keep me safe, wouldn't you?
I would. I would try. But and she stops and she steps away. But you should not get close to me. I bring danger to those who, and she kind of moves to kind of step away.
Oh, how to obliquely I just want to like rudely take her hand and be like, no, it's if there's danger here, then we can face it together. I believe in I believe that you are stronger than you show people.
Hearts and minds.
Absolutely. This is definitely passion.
Okay.
Yeah. Because well, I mean, he is definitely attracted to her, and this is definitely gonna be like a pump up speech. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I think together we have the capability to stand up against all of the evil going on here. Kumbaya. Oh God, thank God I used plus fire on that 7 after everything.
So let's see here.
Yeah, what is or they may instead choose
I think that she will pull her hand away and she will look at you and she says, I can't, I daren't. And she will very openly run away from you. And I will give you a bond with her.
Absolutely. I love giving and receiving bonds. So yes.
Let's take 5 and we'll come back to breakfast. So a Heartless, Ming, Song, you were there at this breakfast. I think that at a certain point, I kind of want to know what each of you wants to get out of this meeting, this thing. So Heartless, what is it that you want out of this now that you've kind of got this group assembled together?
So my original plan was to meet Green Saber Jacques here for perhaps breakfast. And with the introduction of Moonsworn Heart, that has no longer been exactly how I wanted it to turn out. Now I would like to escape this situation, but it seems like all of my companions are how do you say, arriving via different manners. I think that what I truly hope for now is a graceful exit.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
That seems fair.
Yeah.
Song, what is your agenda here?
I think there's two possibilities here. He might want to confront Heartless somewhere maybe less public. But he's also very curious about the fox spirit, and may want to and Daming's connection to the fox spirit. So he might want to have a conversation with Daming or with Chao Yue.
Okay. And Daming?
I think Dumming sees an opportunity here to get back in with his school and his friend Xiaoming by getting to the bottom of what's going on with all of these demons and monsters. And so would like to extract as much information as he can from the captured spirit, as well as anyone else who might be here.
I think there is a bit, a little bit into the breakfast where Green Saber Jacqui will say, Master Daming, if you like, I can take the fox spirit to the cultivators who will deal with it.
If you would, I would like to accompany you when you take them. So, because I believe Master Iron would be interested in a report back about what's happened here.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about that then. And he'll say, so Master Daming, how did you come to cross paths with this fox spirit?
That's an interesting question. I believe that they were following me for some time, and they approached me in the the guise of a student wishing to learn from my my wisdom.
And I think that's when Heartless goes says, "What?"
Yeah. That's not not so far fetched. It was quite plausible to everyone else. Well,
oh, and I sort of like, so I'm like, oh, I had no idea. And then I get kind of very quiet. Yes, that changes things. I get to say that out loud. I think it.
So this fox spirit wanted to steal the secrets of your school then?
I certainly am not so uncautious to reveal, any true secrets to someone who has not been inducted into the school properly. But as I told, well, the person I believe to be my student, there's wisdom to be gained in all corners. Even if it's not secret knowledge.
And I think Xiaoming will say, well, she must have targeted you simply because you are an outcast from our school. I mean, that makes sense.
I don't know how she would have learned that, though.
Well, look at you.
I've always dressed this way, even when I was a member of the
you
school.
were tidier and a little more matching the garments of our order. Master Da, when you were with the school, when you were still in the good graces of Master Iron.
Well, but perhaps Master Iron will be willing to give me a second chance now that we've resolved some of the aspersions that were unfairly cast on me and my friend Xiaolu.
Fair enough, fair enough.
It's gotten very complicated. Would it be okay if I interviewed your fox spirit friend? I've never met one before.
Yes, I was hoping to do the same myself. Perhaps rather than speculate about her motivations, we could glean some information from her ourselves.
And I will turn to Moonsworn and say, I suppose stop me and I can take care of all that follows then. And she will nod to Green Saber Juckweed.
And Green Saber will nod sort of hesitantly. But Moonsworn says, certainly, that is a minor matter. I have bigger fish to fry. Tell me, and she'll turn to Song and Da. I have a strange question to ask you. If I may. Have either of you heard of anyone hearing a strange voice speaking to them? Perhaps, not talking to them in their mind, perhaps in dreams, perhaps in a daydream. Have you heard of anything of that sort?
Yes, but that happened to my grandfather shortly before he passed. It was quite sad.
I mean, in the present time.
And Songkan is like just stuffing another bun into his mouth, and he's like,
Heartless, you may roll.
Okay. So I think I have a bond with him.
Well,
So-
first you make the roll.
Yeah, right. First I did.
What are you going to roll it with?
That's a fine question. I think it's all zeros and water. So
Ooh, look at you with 2 elements marked.
I know it's like I have to take a break at some point here. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess I will roll with metal. But I do have a bond with him
Okay.
if I need to add that.
Sure.
So 2d6 with the 8, a 9 won't make it any better.
So you've got one question.
How closely is he watching what's going on with the fox spirit?
Pretty closely.
Like Dancer of Lost closely?
I don't know what that would be. You asked how closely. Is he watching it very closely?
Yes.
You could see he was maybe a little disappointed when Ming didn't let him take care of the fox spirit.
Okay. Well, he could, get a little more power from it, perhaps. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. I just watched. It's like one of those things that makes my brow furrow.
And
I think
Moonsworn Heart.
Songkan. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you first.
No. I was just gonna say, I think Songtan, he stuffs a bun in his mouth, and he says, and then he says, "Oh, I think the fox spirit might be hungry. We have been eating and so rude in front of her." And he grabs a bun and he goes over to where she's sitting on the floor.
And Moonsworn Heart will say, "Be cautious, Song Tian. With your nature, you should be very cautious in dealing with things like that."
My nature? Oh, that. Yes.
Well, Heartless, Green Saber and I have business to attend to, so we will
Very
leave
important
this.
business. I would not want to delay you.
Yes, I'm
please.
glad you see it that way. Yes.
Yes, exactly. Have a successful and fortuitous and quick end to all of this. I think that you
Excellent.
are exactly the agent to do this. I haven't the head for it, and I will kind of almost scoot them out, if that
Okay.
makes any sense.
You'll move them along.
Yes, perhaps the first time that I've put any pressure on Moonsword Heart at all. So, and I think I will.
Song, do you want to say something? Maybe you have a moment or two while you're bringing the food over to say something or ask something of the fox spirit before Heartless and Doc can enter
Yeah, well,
into
there
this.
I'm scooting the others out. I think Song Tian says to her, I have heard that fox spirits are so wily, and you must have centuries of life experience behind you. How is it that you were captured by Da Ming? And he hands her a bun.
And she looks at you and she says very quietly, love is a dangerous thing.
I knew it. I am in love as well. It hurts my heart. You have been captured for love. This seems wrong.
It seems wrong to me as well.
If I help you, will you help me with something?
Absolutely.
You are good at stealing things, right?
I am among the best.
I will do what I can.
And I think we'll see essentially then the three of you, Da, Heartless, you can join Song in questioning this fox spirit.
And I do think that is Da Ming's associate here as well.
He will excuse himself. He will say, I will go and speak to Master Iron and tell him what has transpired, Da.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
If I see Chao Lu, I will apologize to him and direct him this way.
Thank you so much. That means a great deal to both of us.
And he will head out. And it's the three of you and Chao Yue.
And I sort of say, may I ask you a question?
You may.
Thank you. What is the difference between a fox spirit and a fox demon?
Fox demon is, in some people's reading of it, a fox spirit who has indulged in corrupted cultivation or has allowed certain feelings and things to overtake them to become demonic. A true fox spirit walks a fine line and cultivates from the ambient presence of things around them.
That would be why you would be interested in Da Ming's style then, correct? And she gives her a look like
Yeah. Yes, that would explain everything, wouldn't it? So yes, let's go with that.
she sort of nods and says, it's a difficult thing. There is a difference between a fox spirit and a fox demon, Da Ming. It's unfortunate one of them who's clever enough to understand that there are other ways to gain the power that they need in order to be strong and survive, has chosen a more honorable way and ended up punished. That always makes me, I don't know. I'm not very good at injustice. She sort of looks up at the rafters that have been smashed through.
The sound of the workmen pulling tarps over it.
Exactly.
I think what I still would like to know is why you chose to reveal yourself, given that you had eluded detection, even in the presence of a skilled monster hunter for so long.
I knew that Flickering Breath had an item to detect the presence of creatures such as I, and that my disguise would be thrown away momentarily. So I thought better to be proactive.
She was about to use the device on Xiao Lu. She wouldn't have necessarily even looked in your direction.
I knew she had the device. I had no idea what range it had or what powers it possessed.
Seems like a strangely reckless action for
Well, I'm a
a
fox
spirit
spirit.
who
We're
is.
wild and mischievous and reckless.
Not quite so sensible as you typically are, Dami. Ah,
Heartless, do you want to roll hearts and minds to convince me?
I think that's
Sure.
fair.
I think it is. I'll
And
tell
then
you what.
then I want to
will,
cut to Chow.
Yeah, I think I will roll water, if that makes any sense. Just because it is for someone. So 2d6 plus 2. So that gives me a 9. Let's see here.
So if we look on that on a hit, Da Ming, if you may mark XP if you kind of accept this answer that Heartless is giving. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, you can mark an element or spend a bond to avoid the element marking.
Yeah, so what is it that you want me to do here?
Would say she gets kind of goes, you are particularly powerful and capable martial artist. I think that perhaps you have the opportunity to show the world that you could be a person who is a good influence on a fox spirit. It would be an entirely different kind of approach.
I think that makes sense. So perhaps instead of taking her to the monster hunters who might be overly hasty in judging or
Do
even
not
destroying
fool
her,
yourself. One of them will drag her away and eat her power.
I will take her to Master Iron, who is known for his wisdom and temperance, and let him make the decision about how we should decide her fate.
Who is Master Iron again?
He is the leader of our school, the one from whom I learned all of my techniques.
He's the one who kicked Da Ming out, she says.
Oh, wait, he kicked you out?
Well, it was I quit.
No, if she let you leave, that does not strike me as a person who has a great vision of what could be.
He made the right decision for the for my own journey, and it's led me to this place where I can prove instrumental in what transpires here. I certainly would not accept anyone's anyone imprecating his wisdom.
It just sort of says interesting. So you're in agreement that you should have been kicked out.
I quit, and I agree that was the right decision at the time.
And you would say that what has Master Iron accepted you back in?
I believe we can have that conversation about once I deliver this fox spirit to him and demonstrate my my growth.
I want to cut right there. Chow Lu, kind of probably still a little bit sort of thrown off after the interactions, and he's still wondering what happened to your sister.
And that would be my next course
Yeah.
of action, would be
Yeah.
ask around, did you see a fox spirit and a man of Da Ming's description go running by here?
And I think you'll ask around. There's some discussion of that, and then you will see this beggar comes up to you and says, "Oh, what are you asking about?"
Oh, well, a fox spirit and the god of gamblers himself, Da Ming,
Ah,
describe him.
yes. Well, I will tell you, Chao Lu, that your sister is cuffed and in the hands of Da Ming, and is right now being interrogated by two of your fellows.
Oh, oh, that sister of mine, and start like take one or two steps off and go, wait, how do you know this? All of this?
Oh, I know it because I know that you have been around, sniffing around my grandchildren.
Sirens just like blaring in Chaolu's head.
You don't have much time for your sister.
I oh man, I feel like this is inner conflict for the general.
Yeah.
It's kind of obtuse because like
No, but I think it applies.
yeah. All right, let's go with that. Wood is out. Can't use water. That's my style element. So metal, fire, earth. Metal, I think seems to yeah, both positive and positive and negative because
Yeah.
dissatisfaction. Yeah, metal is where this is living. Which is a flat roll. Eight. What's the worst? Well,
I think your choice is here. You could mark that element and stay here, but I think like right now you're 50-50 between this and your sister. And I think you are intelligent enough to know that on your own, you are no match for Peerless Zhelan.
I have never seen a duel situation with somebody of higher scale to then like come back with like a new technique.
You want to try it?
Let's go.
All
Yeah.
right. Then tell me what that looks like. Like, how do you draw down?
Um I think Chalu is just absolutely overcome with rage that's been building for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And uh I don't know exactly how this fight would begin, but she's obviously gonna dodge his first attack. I think uh
She flips back through the air as your first attack comes out, and this old beggar like lands feet attached to the wall and like hangs there for a moment before leaping back down.
yeah, we pull out a knife. I think what it is, like our first strike is with a knife, and when she dodges and comes back down, that's when we just kind of hold it in front of us and we just let it kind of like blossom out in each direction to reveal the razor fan.
Absolutely.
And we call those will-o-wisps, the water candles, up to our side again, and we're just gonna have a big Jancha brawl right here. I know I'm
Let's,
gonna lose, but
yeah, let's have you roll.
um awesome. This is style element. That makes it real
Okay.
easy.
Yep.
So dual water +1. That is a 9.
That is a 9.
Do I want to bump that to a 10?
Right. Either way, you're going to get to describe, but if you give it a 9, you're going to have to mark an element.
So I can either burn a bond or mark an element.
Yeah.
I will leave it because I would love to see if I can get a bond up to +3.
Sure.
So I will go ahead and mark. Actually, the bond with Moonsworn Heart, since I don't know if that's really going to go anywhere, so I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and
Sure.
mark that
Okay.
and bump it up to a 10.
So she is fast. She has those nails that are striking and cutting, and I think when she swings with those that they are envenomed. Um, so tell me how it is that you lose.
Actually, could I take that back? And instead of an element, can I mark wounded?
Yeah.
Cool. Then I'm gonna pull back my bond to Woundsword Heart and mark wounded.
Okay.
Other thing I tend to not see in Hearts of Wulin. And I think it's a Jansha fight. I throw these water candles at her. They burst. There's freezing going on the sides of buildings, and she's just withering. Is what it is. She comes in. She gets a claw. 3 red lines appear on Chaolu's arm. He wards her off, and she comes in again. And sooner or later, the poison starts getting to him. We just see like these veins of poison start to like crawl up the sides of his neck, and we have that moment where he just like looks at her and is like, she's fast, and if I don't do something if I don't do something soon, I'm gonna be done for. But I think we have to draw enough attention that
Yeah, that there are people, there are cultivators around in the city. I think that you've made that noise. You kind of back up against one of the walls. You're kind of deciding what your next gambit is because you don't want to be seen. She doesn't want to be seen.
oh, if she doesn't want to be seen, and if I get to narrate this, then I think she gets Chaolu up against a wall. She pulls her hand back. We see these long nails, and she's about to drive them through Chaolu's neck. And the camera pans over, and Flickering Breath is there. And if there's anybody that she cannot be seen by,
She says, not now in front of her, but at some point when I have to make a point to her, I'll kill you in front of her. And then she's up on the roof. And I think Flickering Knife's like, Chaolu.
and Chaolu just dramatically collapses because he is poisoned.
And I think we cut to the 3 of you interrogating the fox spirit when this figure comes through the doorway carrying Chaolu's body.
Oh,
And you'll
no.
see Flickering Breath. Uh, 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 Someone, anyone, help, please help me.
I will.
Can I do one thing before that happens?
Absolutely.
I think while they were interrogating Zhao Yue, Song Qian is playing in the background.
Right.
Of this song about love. And I don't know what this would be. Maybe it's an overcome. You tell me what it is.
Sure.
But he's going to try to he tries to he plays some high notes at one point in the song that are designed to kind of weaken the bonds, the shackles that
Interesting.
Chao Yue is wearing, so that she may have a chance to escape at some point.
I think that's perfect. Let's have you roll with that.
So is it like just an overcome, right? So
Yeah, I
it's an
think so.
element. I think maybe earth for focus. And let's see here. It's a 9. And how does overcome work?
Overcome, there's a cost or a complication. In this case, probably that someone will notice.
Uh,
Now you could spend a
gonna bump
bond
it. I'm gonna
or
bump it with my curse.
absolutely.
So somehow Gasheng hides it from the notice of other people. And so
Absolutely.
even though that ring note comes off and you see the shackles tremble and Xiao Yue
Tiniest
notices
of cracks
it,
appear
tiniest
in
of
what's
cracks. Yeah. And nobody else notices. Is even Daming and Heartless.
and that's when the door comes open and the flickering breath comes in and is carrying Chao Lu.
And oh, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is he poisoned?
I think so.
Oh, and let's see here. I have a thing of I can help like during conflict for wounded thing. Is that something that I can do now? Is that in this moment there is a conflict going on?
Yes.
Or, okay.
So it's
So-
when you use comfort in sort of conflict situation, you can clear an element on someone else as well. And I think that is appropriate here given this. But let's have you use comfort and support.
Okay, yes, that is what I'm going to do. So 2d6, and I will use my water to do this. So that's a 9.
Okay.
Let's see here. Trying to think of.
So Chow, you may clear that wounded box. Heartless, what does that look like? I assume we lay
Oh.
Chow on a table.
Right, and she does a thing of like she takes out her paper and like it folds itself into like it's an envelope, and you see her like go over the wound, and she sort of smooths it out with another piece of paper, and then she puts this powder on it. All it is the soot of her ink, and she puts it in there, and then it's like it's a very thing if she uses her that ink on his thing as her magic, essentially to heal him magically. Essentially the thing that you would notice is that like where her feet were, there's an ink footprint. It's just she always leaves ink behind her when she's done some sort of magic.
And Flickering Breath is kind of looking down anxiously at this. She looks at you, Da Ming.
I say, what happened to him? How did this happen?
Could you hold his shoulders down? So he's struggling, Damien. It won't help.
Yes, yeah. Xiaolu, be still. Heartless is going to help you.
And essentially Flickering Breath will come in and crowd over with you, Da Ming, as you are helping, and she'll say kind of close to you, she says, he was fighting someone powerful in the street. I didn't have a chance to see, but he was struck and poisoned. Yes.
I said Chao Lu, who was it that attacked you?
He'll manage to struggle out just a name and sputters, but it comes out Peerless Zhelan.
And Flickering Breath flinches.
Flickering Breath, do you know who that is?
That is my grandmother.
Your grandmother attacked Xiao Lu? Why would she do that?
I think to hurt me.
To hurt you?
She has always destroyed anything that I care about.
Yeah.
Oh, oh no, it's not Ming.
Sorry.
Right. Let me make an inner conflict roll
Yeah,
with probably metal. I got honestly
okay, that makes sense.
control, which is not great for me. Oh, it's a 9.
That's a 9.
That's not bad.
I tell you what, I'm going to make you an offer.
All right.
Since we already have it kind of set up in the scene, I would like to offer you this narrative thing that you don't have to mark an element, and you don't have to flee, but I think that you will look over in the distraction of all of this, like, you turn away from her, and I think you will see those cuffs laying on the floor empty.
Ooh.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And it looks like in the distraction here, that fox spirit has somehow, bizarrely, no possible way, gotten out of them. So clearly, Moonsworn Heart's manacles were not nearly as powerful as she thought they were.
We're surrounded by incompetent monster hunters.
That's why I
Or-
always ask questions,
Or
just to
really competent
understand.
fox spirits.
No, it couldn't be that.
And I think that she will say, I think my grandmother is here to do bad things. I think that all of this is some kind of scheme, some kind of trap. I thought that if we were here, my brother and I, to regain the name and honor of our family, but now I don't know. I don't think so.
Do you believe that your grandmother is working in league with this fox demon that just escaped?
No, my grandmother would not work with a fox demon.
But is there some relation, or that we happen to have the misfortune of 2 malevolent persons in the city at once?
It's more likely that my grandmother would attempt to kill or consume any fox spirit that she met. I think if she knew there was a fox spirit in town, she would attack it. She may be after that dragon.
Did she take the dragon?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know who took the dragon. But I betrayed the dragon. I broke its heart. And I don't know how I will ever make up for that. I have to do something. I don't deserve love.
That is a very harsh thing that you have just said. I
So
think that
kind of
that
stand
one
up.
can make mistakes and still deserve love. But it doesn't mean that it'll be easy.
And she will look around at all of you, and I think he'll turn and say, "Musician, play on."
Song begins the song again that he's been doing all the variations on of tragic love, and he glowers at both Flickering Breath and Heartless Dun.
And I think that's a perfect sort of end motif for this particular session. We'll take up with the group together, kind of deciding where they go from here, what they wish to do. We have a couple of threats. We may not get to all of them, but hopefully we'll get to one or more of them next time. I'd like to try and get the dragon out on the table in front of Song next time, so that we have that at the very least. That certainly be my wish. Let's look at people's uh, uh, entanglements. Ming, I think we got both of your entanglements, right? We touched on both?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
So 3 XP. Heartless Don. I think we touched on both of yours. We talked about Song. You got sort of poked on that by your colleague.
Mm-hmm.
And we certainly got your rival and Green Saber there.
Okay.
So 3. Song Tian.
I changed my romantic one since things were moving
absolutely
in the fire and brief way.
I think that's perfect. So let's say 2 points.
Yeah.
And Chalu, 3 points.
Absolutely.
I would like to do a quick stars and wishes. Ming.
Yeah, so I love the scene between Heartless Dun and Xiaolu, and I will say that lie about the Peach Blossom Fairy was so convincing that I was out of character, confused for about 5 minutes, thinking that was I had missed something about Xiaolu's backstory, and I really like the way that I really like the new romantic entanglement that Song Tian created with the dragon, and that was a really cool direction to see that particular plotline take. And I overall I liked all the it really felt like a lot of the threads were coming together, really heightened some of the melodrama, so that was great.
Awesome. Heartless. Oh, any wishes, Da?
Nothing particular. I'm just
Okay.
curious to see how it all plays out next time.
All right.
I like the turn of the cursed becoming, how should we say, almost as if he deserves to be cursed. It's maleficence. So that is an interesting turn. I really like, what to say, how complicated the history that has kind of come in from a previous game has made all of the monster hunters and monsters and spirits here. It kind of does suggest that Peerless Zhelan is in many ways maybe the most dangerous thing here, because she has so much to sup upon, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Interesting. Chaolu's many faceted lies was wondrous and good. I loved the conversation with that I got to have with Xiaolu, but I also loved Flickering Breath and Xiaolu and that sort of thing. I think it's very funny that both Xiaolu and Heartless Dun are big suckers for love, if that makes any sense. It's very funny. Anyway, maybe it's just a fairy thing, right?
Yeah.
We're like anyway, I don't know. It was pretty funny. And Song Tian's wow, that song, it's a terrible thing. So wonderful. Good
Wishes?
stuff. Yeah, I just want to see how this rolls out. We've got so many pieces interwoven so tightly. And I'm going to see how terrible best intentions lead me to. So
Fair enough. Sang Tian.
Let's see. Wow, lots of good stuff this time. Yeah, Heartless Don Don. I love that your character is like so devoted to love, but it's just cock blocking Song Tian left, right, and center the entire time.
have sense of
And that's
this.
what's creating all this resentment on his part. So I love that, and thank you for letting me search your room in such a creepy way, and giving me something to find. Daming, I love how you set up the that detection scene with the artifact and everything. It was perfect, and it created so much drama, and it reaped so much. We got to reap so much from that scene that kind of spiraled out from it. So it was a great setup. And yeah, and I agree, Chaolu. I love the, I was trying to figure out in that conversation with Flickering Breath, whether you're just manipulating her or whether you actually have feelings for her, or so it's hard to get a read on Chaolu, which is great. And I loved the losing duel too. Jumping into the losing duel with Granny was awesome. So that was a lot of fun. And thank you, Lowell, for making it all happen with so many of these NPCs and bringing us all together when we needed to be together, and pulling us apart at other times. So yeah, I had a great time. My only wish is, well, yeah, I'd love for there to be some kind of dragon scene with Song Tian in the last session. And
Absolutely.
and also I'd like to see, I've got 3 marks on the curse. I need 1 more mark on the curse. I couldn't put more marks on the curse because I kept rolling 10s.
Yeah, you
So,
were you are cursed not to have the curse.
and so I couldn't mark up the curse until the last roll. And so I'm glad I got to do that. So I'd love to see the curse blow up, because everyone's talking about the curse, but it doesn't seem to do anything just yet. So I'd like to see it do something.
Awesome. And Chaolu.
God, yeah, I came into this session absolutely prepared to just be a monster to Flickering Breath and just be like, Chaolu is hunting you, and it's like this whole session was like the old adage from Mike Tyson about everybody has a plan till they get punched in the mouth, and I just felt like I was narratively getting punched in the mouth with all the things in the best possible way. It's why I love this hobby. God, Chao Yue's It Is I, and again, this is something the other players don't know, but I literally did that same exact thing last time I played Chao Lu. Was fantastic. So I just love seeing that get thrown back in my face, and again, in the best possible way. Bringing in Dancer of Loss, the NPC that we named in character creation and just haven't seen a whole lot of. I loved hearing her name, and all of the trouble that just her name caused was absolutely fantastic, as a fox spirit should be. Heartless's sassy what to Da Ming when it's like, oh yeah, studying your expertise, it was just priceless. And I like I said, I've never seen somebody take the losing duel option, fighting somebody actually above their scale, so it was really fun to play out. I had a lot of fun, ton of fun with that. I always wanted to see what that would actually look like. And then also just when Flickering Breath was like, oh yeah, my grandmother is here, and it's like, your grandmother is here, just cut to commercial. Fantastic. Wishes. Now that Dancer has been invoked, I would love to either have a dream or a sequence or something where she communicates directly to Chaolu. I know we only have 1 session left. It's kind of a hard ask, and we've got a lot of cards on the table. To really kind of dig deep into that plot.
Well, I think it makes sense actually if we start out the next session with that, because you're recovering from the poison.
Yeah, the whole fever dream poison situation. Yeah, I'm totally down for that. Might tie into my next wish. now that I've done the losing duel, I'd love to see the new technique and see how that's the other side of that coin that I've not had a chance to do that in Hearts of Wulin. I would love to give that a shot.
Oops.
And I'd love to see more Da Ming faith testing in the sense of like, I feel like the rest of us are like in these like deep rolling romance or melodramas, and Da Ming's in like a crime serial. It's in the like the investigation, he's like, I feel like I'm getting closer to something. I feel like there's some more information here. And he's circling he's so close to hitting the truth with Chao Lu that I almost want to see what it's like when he gets there. And when all of the lies crumble. And I feel like he's been chasing after it for so long in this story that I my wish then is that sooner or later he's got to figure it out. Like we got to give it to him.
Absolutely.
There we go. That's what I got.
I had a great time with this. Like great rolls. It's nice to see you roll high, nice to see you roll low. It was a great run across there. Loved where things went. So had a dynamite time, and I am super looking forward to seeing where this goes next time. So much of the play to find out. Very excited about that. I'm going to stop the recording